I think that's the thing. So every once in a while, I like to like press the button, and then we're like do, and then. What's up, party animals?
I like our theme music.
Yeah, I wanted to change
and I
it
do
for a
like
while,
the
but
thing where there's a
going
few
on.
seconds of you and I goofing around, and then it just starts. I like
right?
that.
I kind of do too. It's like, what are you guys doing? And then I get to make a face and press the button. Also, I'm
Right.
like really easily amused, like genuinely super easily amused.
So we have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Today we have the Battle of the Bilge. We have to talk about that.
Oh,
The Antifa submarines.
Oh my god. Well, even like the boat with the Trump flag that's on the bottom.
Actually, that's photoshopped.
I don't care. I assumed it was photoshopped. It doesn't matter to me at all. I think that's how, that just makes sense. And I mean, the whole idea that they were like, obviously it's Antifa made up, submarines made up. And of course we added the soup can guns because it's just gloriously funny. And it turns out that it's just assholes with big boats making wakes irresponsibly and sinking the smaller boats, which is the Republican Party writ large. And it was the Republican Party writ large before Trump. I mean, how many times over the last 6 or 7 years or however long we've been friends have I said, if you're a Republican, you are rich or stupid, period.
I think it's interesting that the big boats were operated irresponsibly and sunk the little boats, which is a metaphor for the entire Trump administration.
I just said that, right?
Yeah, I guess I was reading stuff on that.
You know what, Greg? You know what I think? I think that the fact that the big boats were totally irresponsible and sunk the little boats is literally a metaphor for the Trump organization.
I said administration, so I had a completely different thought.
I wanted to. This is telephone. I don't know if you knew this. We're playing telephone right now.
Oh my god,
that was fucking funny. You know what's really funny about that is that like you said the thing right after I said the thing,
right?
And then I said the thing.
Well, so and then frankly, explaining it is the funniest part of all.
You saw exactly where I was going. Like if we explain it in detail, it will only get funnier.
Hey, thank you for sharing out, Jareen. We would like all of you to share our feed because
right now.
We're marvelous. Why the fuck wouldn't you? Also, Fred, I want to apologize. I missed the deadline to call your show, so I'm very sorry that I didn't call and leave a message. If you do that again or open it back up, let me know and I'll jump on that like a live hand grenade.
Wow.
I feel bad that I missed that. So yeah, Fred's grateful for you and for Jareen calling in and leaving a message about his podcast. So
cool. Oh yeah, gratitudes.
What are you grateful for, Corey?
Good humor.
Yes, right. That's a good thing. See, thank you, Sue, my friend. Morning, all. Glad Greg repeated it. Now I feel like I caught the whole thing. That's right. That's right.
I mean, if the other side can use the mirror effect, why fucking can't we? I mean,
yeah.
And to that effect, the real thing that we need to get across is that it was the bigger boats acting irresponsibly that sunk the smaller boats, and that's an allegory or a metaphor for the Trump administration.
Yes, the buoyant getting buoyanter, and the least buoyant getting sunk. That's
exactly. It's like it's not even survival of the fittest. It's survival of the people that got the most dummies to work for them to earn the most money to buy the biggest boat to sink the other assholes in the asshole parade.
Yeah, the jokes were limitless. The Clannish Armada, that was one of my favorites.
Oh well, and like Dumpkirk, like
Dumpkirk. Yeah.
That's solid work. I had to explain what Dunkirk was a couple times, but it was worth it.
Yeah. Really? That's sad that people don't know about.
It was a good movie too.
It's a
Let's throw
great
that out
movie.
there.
Christopher Nolan, right? Yeah, I think so.
It was well made.
Yeah, it was really excellent.
So yeah, I'm grateful for good humor. I'm grateful for the dozen or so people that are constantly and consistently posting to Chirp, because again, the network effect is very hard. Everyone is automatically used to being on Facebook and Twitter, so those core people means that we get to keep going. Without them, we would be bored and it would die. So thank you for that. Oh, and my cousin Jen for hosting like morning gratitudes on Chirp itself.
That's nice. Yep.
Keeps doing these weirdo little gratitude missions for coins and stuff. It's a fun little gamified experience.
Yeah, my record so far was I had 15 likes on the shower curtain post, the Sasquatch shower curtain, like the Van Gogh painting with Sasquatch walking by in the foreground. At 15 likes. That's pretty good. And somebody tipped me 100 coins. I have no idea why. I don't even know who that person is. So obviously a Sasquatch fan or a Bigfoot fan,
but not a Yeti.
You know, Corey. Corey. Sasquatch sometimes gets called Bigfoot. Yeti doesn't complain.
Before we got on air, I yelled very loudly that hashtag coffee as a show was completely canceled with enough authority that Greg actually looked worried. And then I told him that it was because I saw that pun and I hated him and I will hate him forever. Yeah, or until now. Forever was about
until I make a worse pun.
Till about 15 seconds, or until we talk about rockets.
Then,
be like, all right, fine.
You guys aren't going to believe this, but then he suggested that I start a pun channel on Chirp. And if I do that, I'm just simply going to tag him in every single pun that gets posted there. That's so that's going to happen.
It may surprise people that I am quite dedicated to this project at the expense of my own mind, apparently.
Yeah. Gender reveal parties are stupid. But they're even stupider now. So
why do they have to do with fire?
They set off a pyrotechnic that put out blue smoke for "It's a Boy."
Yeah, but like that's not necessary at a gender reveal party. Like I went to one where they used a cake and no forest fires were set.
Yeah, in a field in California in September, in the worst pandemic in our history, because people are fucking selfish. That's my big lesson for 2020. Between Trump fans and COVID idiots and forest fires in California, people are fucking selfish, and it sickens me.
It's disheartening for sure. To get back, Greg, we're gonna have to find out what all votes matter. Those are pretty fucking good. That's totally true. Dreen said, "Grateful, awesome news." Hashtag coffee baby, which is never gonna get old. Past genetic testing and is at is not at risk. No gender yet though. 16 weeks. 3 days when she does her gender reveal party. Maybe we could do it with a water cannon in California. Sue said, I'm grateful that my friend's son made it out of the fire that broke out on the ranch next to theirs in California. That's scary. Doreen said, Greg, I got some Oklahoma Sasquatch pics from a friend yesterday. I'll inbox you later. They are bears. Kathy Brinkman said, grateful for work picking up again. Kids and grandkids doing well. That I have time to tune in today. I'm grateful that Kathy is here and that she stuck with me doing the entire goals and gratitude run that we did, where we always did 3 gratitudes. So she brings in 3 because she's old school like that. Dreed said I'll have a gender announcement for hashtag coffee baby and not a party. Parties are ego driven and self-indulgent. That made me mad. Amen to that. All right, cool. Okay, cool. Oh man, gender reveal party 2 weeks ago. 200 pounds of confetti.
I just don't even.
Just stop. Like that, no one gives a fuck about your fucking stupid. Now, hashtag coffee baby. I personally care about that, and I will buy all the confetti because I'm a hypocrite. But everyone else should fucking calm down.
Well, what if we let the child wait till they're 16 and burn the California down themselves? Like they get to decide.
Well, no, they should also get to decide their gender because it's all
that's the joke.
Boom.
That's the joke.
I missed the joke. It was too subtle for me. I require explanations.
Yeah. By the way, this is not the first gender reveal party fire. There was one in Arizona 3 years ago, right down near the border, that destroyed 48,000 acres. And I'm incredulous. I'm like, this is just the dumbest thing. Just the dumbest thing. By the way, now gender reveal party forest fires have destroyed more property than every BLM rally ever held. So there's that.
Well, and the Sturgill Simpson Trump rally is probably going to cost billions and billions of dollars in damages because people are selfish and stupid. Yeah, I was listening to Chris Hayes. He had some people on that did an analytics study of the progression of just the cases that came out of Sturgill, and it's 20%.
Sturgis.
Sorry, no, Sturgill Simpson rules. It's in the title of this show. Okay,
yeah, and we'll explain that in a little while.
Yeah, Sturgis. 20% of new cases in the United States came from that. Welcome to exponential growth, you stupid fucks.
Yeah, I saw the cell phone heat map from that, and there's like a direct line pointing right at Tampa Bay down the I-4 and I-75 corridors. So, thanks, biker dickheads. When did bikers become authoritarians? When did that fucking happen? That the bikers take the sides of the cops?
So hold on, I think you're onto something that should be a core sociological understanding of the United States, right? Like after World War II. Biker culture kind of shows up, right? And it's like freedom in the road, yada yada yada. Fierce independence. Yeah, we kind of all gone through
push back against authority because the first Hells Angels were World War II veterans,
right?
And they had been living under an authoritarian regime and were rebelling against that,
right? And so Vietnam comes around and probably only deepens that whole ethos, right? Because they're watching all this stuff go around. And now I guess they get a little older, they get some money in the stock market as a gestalt. And branding basically puts that culture into the hands of the wealthier people. And now it's just proto-Nazis. So
unbelievable.
And it's honestly an allegory for half the United States. Remember when there used to be that core principle of individualism, but you would sacrifice for the whole? Well, right. Now it's just individualism. Yeah, now, I mean, Dave nailed it. Biker culture now, it's just rednecks that wish they could be in the mafia.
Yep, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, I don't even get it.
I don't either.
I think like a lot of that is cover for we're committing criminal acts, but we want you to focus on other criminals, not us. That would be particularly true of biker gangs and clubs that are involved in nefarious illegal things. So I don't know, man. Jareen says, my friend in Oregon said she was being over-prepared and packed up her family picks, guitars, and PA. Ended up having to evacuate. She was so glad she was planning ahead and made it out safely. Yeah, there's it's bad. It's really, really bad out there. And it's not just California. The entire West Coast appears to be on fire at this point. Our friend Diane Cash, Stevie's friend Diane Cash in the Yosemite Valley, they have fires within a few miles of them. Elizabeth Wood in Colorado says there's a massive fire called the Mount Cameron or Lake Cameron fire that's close enough that they're just inundated with smoke at her place right now in Fort Collins. So our thoughts are with all of those folks. And honestly, you should have just raked your forests sooner. That's
I've heard that. You just have to rake good.
No, see, Marielle said, thanks, Sons of Anarchy. I think this started before that. Because look, when I first started doing the podcast, which I think was maybe right about the time Sons of Anarchy started, I was involved with a local motorcycle organization that has the Confederate flag on their patch, and they are all authoritarian dickheads. Well, not all, but overwhelmingly so. Go figure. They raise a lot of money for a charity every year, and I guess that's a good thing. But yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't a charity to build a wall.
I saw a post, Jareen. I saw a post from Elizabeth last night that they were not in any immediate danger, just had a lot of smoke. So I'm hopeful that's still the case. Don't see her in here this morning. So I guess we'll say. I have a video to share. Can I share a video?
Of course.
It's about all the horrifying things that are happening in Portland right now. It's a live report from the scene about all the carnage and destruction. You ready?
Yeah. Go.
Got sound?
No. You're gonna do it again.
I did it wrong.
You did. How dare you?
I did. Okay, let's try this again. Why isn't it letting me choose the set? Where do
I? Are you using Chrome?
No.
Use Chrome.
I don't use Chrome because Chrome is a bloatware piece of shit.
Well, it works. So there.
It works for this specific thing, but not much else. All right, so I'm going to send this to you, and you can share it. How's that?
Okay. On my bloat-filled thingy thing.
Yeah, not a fan. And I have used Chrome before, and I've been really just disgusted with how.
I do actually want to try. I need to try some new browsers. Just because every once in a while, Chirp runs slowly, and it's running slowly for me. So I wonder if that might be part of it.
There you go. Send it in Messenger.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Adrian. If you give me that email, I will appreciate it.
Excuse me. From Stephanie Rule.
Yeah, who I like.
I am aware. Boink. 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 Loading. Get rid of that. Show the whole thing.
I am so scared. Like, New York City's streets are like a fucking hellscape. I mean, there is like people and violence and like looting and fires everywhere. And like, there's just like, I mean, look at the streets are lined with people doing things like getting ice cream, gay ice cream, and there's people everywhere like getting dinner. I mean, it's like so scary here, you guys. Like, I can understand why people left and they're not coming back because it's like so scary. Look at all the people having dinner. I can't. Oh my god! Look at there's people shopping and getting groceries. I can't deal with all of the hellish behavior. It's like scary out here. Oh my god! The city streets are a war zone. Look, there's more people having dinner. Oh my god! And there's people having drinks and laughing and like, what's happening? Oh my god! Oh my god! Stop watching Fox News.
There you go.
I was like the second about 30 seconds in, I'm like, I mean, I get it, but it kept it like the right in the thing. Wait for the dismount, and it was so worth it. Well played,
like
well played, sir.
Have you seen the map of Portland that the people have been posting? There's a map of the entire city of Portland.
Yeah,
and the area where all the trouble is happening is this little tiny red square, like red square. Like, it's 0.25% of the entire map of Portland. It's crazy. Oh, by the way, hey Donna, you should wave because everybody's saying hi because they heard you over there.
Hi,
That's
Laugh
Donna.
Track with
There she
their
is.
awesome freaking cockpit now. That's so
Yep.
cool to see.
Yep, that's my old workstation. So I'm glad she's putting that to good use.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Fred's chiming in. There's apparently some browser wars going on. He's had really good luck with Chrome because he's not a whiny internet nerd. Been done with Internet Explorer for years. That's more or less where I'm at. Dave said best part of the browser talk is when the Internet Explorer people see the comment in an hour and pipe in. Well played, sir.
Yeah, that's a fact, Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Well, do we bring up the GPT-3 thing, or is that too heavy for?
I don't have anything queued up about it, but if you want to talk about it, I'm happy to.
So basically, I think that I saw it's from OpenAI, Elon Musk's kind of attempt to end run getting completely and totally overshadowed, not destroyed, just overshadowed. But to him, that's the same thing by hyper intelligent AI. And it was supposed to be a very, very open project and be open source and be for everyone. Peter Thiel got involved, and now it's a business. So watch that space for that. Hopefully, I mean, they'll hemorrhage the smartest people in that room unless they do what their initial mission was, because that's how they managed to snag them all. So that's the whole thing. But I was listening to Tim Ferriss and somebody else, big time technology investor, talk about this, and they said what I had suspected but couldn't confirm for myself, that this is the actual turning point. The Turing test is over. You can tell this GPT-3 AI to make a website in specific designs based on designs that you'd like, and it'll pump out a website that is perfectly functional based on the top 10 versions of it. They got it to write an article about why you shouldn't be worried about AI by itself. And so it read every single article that's ever been written, analyzed it all semantically, and managed to produce something that is fairly intelligible, if not, in places kind of creepy. And to that,
okay, but the caveat there is in the editor's notes at the bottom, it said that what you read was actually a mosaic of the best paragraphs from like 5 different versions of the essay that were written.
So it's still, that's, I didn't even get down to that far. So that's interesting. So, and to me, that just sort of speaks to the initial phases of this.
Right. It's not perfect yet.
Right. Well, and it's like the chess thing, right? The only thing that can beat a chess computer is a much less capable brute force chess computer and 2 kind of half-ass chess nerds. Right. Like, so that combination is still far more powerful than AI, which I find really, really interesting. But in 100 years, that will be a joke, right? Like, and it might be 10 times less than that.
Well, like now when they show us pictures of old computers that had a gigabyte of storage and they were the size of my apartment, it'll be quaint and hilarious, Yeah, 10
exactly.
years from now. I don't think it'll take 100 years.
I don't think it will either. But I mean, like the 100 years is just to kind of illustrate the fact that it's entirely inevitable.
Right.
But they saw this as the turning point. Like this is where 100 years from now they'll look back at GPT-3 and go, okay, this is where it got super weird, and legitimate did. Anyway, we don't have to talk anymore about that if we don't want to. Mom just brought up DOJ's defending Trump against a libel suit brought by somebody who he very likely sexually abused, if not raped. Period. So that's fun. I mean, that's it's
and let's be clear here.
Anyone shocked by that?
The Department of Justice is jumping in to a civil lawsuit over defamation by the president of a rape victim. That's not okay. Basically, what we're saying is no president from here forward, if this passes, no president from here forward can be sued for defamation.
For anything. And it basically, like, the only reason why Department of Justice felt like they could do this, the argument that they are forced to make in court, is that he did this, Trump did this, as a function of his work as president.
As president, right.
And if that's the case, Clinton set really clear, Bill Clinton set really clear precedents for this. And it didn't work. So, but I mean, now, does anyone seriously believe we haven't fallen that far? Because I do.
Or that the courts are more amenable to their argument now than they were during the Clinton administration?
Could be.
Yeah. Can we talk about the fact that Elon successfully implanted a Neuralink into a pig, and that pig will launch into space on the next SpaceX mission to mine a nearby meteorite for lunar gold?
Not true. So close.
Okay, so
cool. I'm cool with it though.
Yeah, I want to go back up to this post. Just adding, does anyone know what law everyone is talking about California supposedly passed to let you rape kids? I haven't had time to look this up. Anyone do the research? Yes, it's total bullshit. It has to do with consent variance. In other words, and I've touched on this work a little bit in my counseling life. Age differential between partners is an issue when it comes to child sex abuse. In other words, a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old having sex is not necessarily sexual abuse of a minor, right? And I'm not comfortable with any of this, but the truth is kids do have sex with each other younger than we would like. And sorting out when a child should be legally liable and charged with a crime and have a sexual predator designation follow them through their entire lives is an issue. A 19-year-old dating a 17-year-old in some states is a crime. In some states, a 19-year-old dating a 14-year-old is not a crime. So, age of consent varies by state. Age of consent varies by country. And this is a law that's designed to help sort that out in the California penal system. Penal, Penal, Corey. Just making sure that. So that's what this is. It's an adjustment of their penal code for what does and doesn't constitute sexual abuse. And so, and look, the other thing that's really making me crazy right now is the thing where pedophiles are trying to get pedophilia listed as a sexual orientation. That's bullshit. That's not happening anywhere. That's the same rhetorical propaganda that was used to try and vilify gay people when we were struggling for equality for gay rights, which, by the way, we're still struggling for because they're trying to backroll all of that stuff. But it's nonsense. It's bullshit nonsense. It's not true. It's not actually happening. So let's not give it any more. Let's not give it any more space.
I would like to thank the people that are posting that kind of thing on Facebook, because it makes my job of cutting you the fuck out of my life easier.
Much easier. Yeah.
I mean, and seriously, like I'm a little, oversensitive to it now because I have been noticing it far more, which could be the whole reticular activation system in the brain, yada, yada, yada. Cause I'm thinking about it more, but people that I never fucking talk to, and they'll post something that is in that vein, and Facebook will serve that to me, and I'll go back to their page and it's like 15 posts back. So Facebook is going in, finding a post that's pure dog shit and sending it to me so that I'll react. And now, because I have a bit of a bee in my bonnet, my reaction is this network connection is now closed. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And now, granted, like I'm a tiny, tiny speck of sand on a flea compared to Facebook doing this to 2.6 billion people, which they're fucking doing. Which, I mean, you want to see why the world is turning to shit? It could literally just be Facebook's fault.
Yeah, I saw an article yesterday about a 2-year-old child in one of the border detention centers that is clinging for attention to the girls that are between 10 and 14 that are locked up with him. And I just don't understand why the hashtag Save the Children people are not upset about that.
They're brown children.
Yeah, but all lives matter, Corey.
But only white ones do.
It's funny, I don't see all lives matter come up in response to a Blue Lives Matter post.
Yeah, I mean, we all know it's dog shit. I mean, it's wow, dog shit. Okay, I was listening to Pod Save the World, which is fantastic from the Pod Save team. I haven't done this yet, but votesaveamerica.com is apparently awesome and lit and a great way to find out exactly how to vote in your state. You can go to votesaveamerica.com/states and you can pick yours. If you don't have a voting plan yet, I mean, I know most of you guys probably do anyway because you're freaking awesome. So they started talking about Mulan, which we watched. I love spectacle, so it didn't bother me in the slightest. But apparently they actually went to the province where they're putting a lot of these Muslim detention camps in, right? And of course, it's very pro-Chinese, government period, right? I mean, that's the story, so it's not crazy, but like that's Disney's making a conscious choice to kind of triple down in there because the Chinese market is so huge for them now. And it made me hearken back immediately to my conversation with Mr. Magical Butter, who made exactly the same call for money.
Right.
You definitely never question the Chinese government, even if they're putting 1 million Muslims in detention camps for re-education, right? Which is exactly what the Nazis did until they were like, well, we can't really keep supporting them. So what do we do with them? Well, obviously you just murder them all because food is expensive. So yeah, it's dark. It's dark. And like, it's not just a small situation. You have giant corporations with the GDPs of small countries making decisions that are absolutely amoral. And I mean, I think the best argument that I've heard for doing that kind of thing is that when you open markets up like that, the cross-pollination ends up happening anyway. But
in other
unfortunately,
words, democratic ideas filter into that economy.
I mean, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but like that, I mean, that's not completely untrue. The problem is it's working the other way, right? Like suddenly, well, maybe, massive detention camps are okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we taught them how. We interred Japanese Americans of Japanese heritage in World War II. We taught them how. I had a Native American, a Native American activist. He was in Canada at that time talking to people on the reserves, which is what the Canadians call the reservations. That the South Africans learned apartheid from their time in Canada training as pilots. The men that went back and formed the South African government at the end of World War II had all been stationed in Canada to learn to fly or to learn how to be combat pilots. And they learned about how the reserve system in Canada segregated the natives from the rest of the population, sort of separate but equal, put them out on land that nobody wanted. And they went back to South Africa and did the same thing. So there's, and furthermore, during the Boer War, the English fought in South Africa in the 1890s, early 1900s. They did the same thing. They interred massive numbers of South African Dutch farmers and their families, so they couldn't provide food to the Boer Rebellion people. So it's not like we don't have a history.
Yep.
Yeah, but what the Chinese are doing is atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. And I say this as an atheist, right? They're singling out a religious group for special treatment because they're a threat to the state and locking them up by the hundreds of thousands. Now up to 1 million, and they're building something like 14 more of these camps and processing centers. They're sending Chinese government officials to live with Muslim families to make sure that they don't do things in their home that are against the policy of the Chinese government. These are awful, awful things. Oh, hey, Elizabeth Wood is in the comments.
Woo!
We were talking about you.
We were. Dave Myers would like to let me know that I'm directly responsible for apartheid. My apologies.
That's right.
It's a big fail. Sorry.
That's right. He would probably play Sun City. It's a thing from the 80s. Nothing. Never mind. There's a big controversy. Like one of the first places that Americans began to move on apartheid was when musicians were playing Sun City, which was an apartheid-run resort in South Africa, and other musicians were calling them to account for that. So Steven Van Zandt from Bruce Springsteen's band had a minor hit song called "I Ain't Gonna Play Sun City." So I was just making the joke that you would probably play Sun City since you're a musician. Never mind.
Sometimes when you explain it, it doesn't work. Just kidding. That's never true. Elizabeth Wood said, and she's here, which is awesome. We were, in fact, talking about you and wondering where you were. Good news. Our school district moved Indians and Warriors from our high school and middle school mascots. Yeah, Corey nails it because we're not quite depressed enough. Uneducated folks would make excuses like they don't want Sharia taking over China.
Yep.
Well, and oh man, I'm so excited that I forget his name. It's the guy that I'm excited about this. Anyway. Yep.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Like meditation trust fund baby likes to go on the talk shows and talk about preemptively nuking the Middle East. The Yang Gang really loved him, and he's terrible. Anyway, it's funny that I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Oh no. He's supposed to be the sane one from the intellectual dark web. That's all garbage because there is no. Anyway, that's fun.
Yeah, I had somebody drop. What's his name? Is it John Lindsay, the guy that wrote the hoax papers about feminism? He and two other people wrote. They wrote I don't know how to describe it, like rhetorical arguments against feminism as a hoax on the academic community, and now the right is the incels and the men's rights activists are all picking up on these papers like they mean what they say. And frankly, they did this as a rhetorical exercise. None of the three people that wrote these papers actually believe any of these things about feminism and privilege. But somebody yesterday, have you when I was talking about privilege, Tony Farice, who we both know, had posted something about white privilege isn't real or privilege isn't real. And I was like, if you think that, I have some news for you. I actually teach, one of the categories of abuse and domestic violence is male privilege. And we've been teaching that for 40, 50 years. We find that it is a real thing. And this, have you heard of, maybe you should look into John Lindsay. I said, yeah, I have. And what I know is you believe his bullshit. And he wrote it as a hoax on academia. So,
oops for you.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. They're so funny.
I feel sorry for people on the right who have to talk to us.
Well, they don't have to, but they make a mistake once in a while.
I mean, it's anyway, whatever. I just did it. I just ugged. I would like to formally apologize to everyone who I pitched at. Excuse my French on that one as well. There you go. I am an imperfect complainer. Freaking hate complaining. And yet, 2020. That's going to be my excuse for everything.
Yeah.
Well, unfriended.
Wow. Yeah, that he's getting a little weird. And he's such a friendly guy. It's so weird.
Honestly, like, this is normal though, right? Now, like, in this era, we're watching people like I lost a family member about this. Like my cousin got nuked on Facebook. Just straight up, see you later. Like, you might not even have my phone number. And then I found out from the rest of my family that they'd already done it.
Wow.
Right? And so like it's not the only one. Like people that I have known for a long time, they're getting radicalized in a real way. Like the whole the trucks full of assholes with guns, white assholes
being compared
not
to
Al Qaeda. Right. Like that. You think it's different? Like our president radicalized someone, a kid, to go and shoot a bunch of people that were unarmed. That's
the
the
Department of Homeland Security is about to drop a report that says white supremacists and right-wing terrorists are the most dangerous and lethal, potentially lethal in America.
Because we're things.
Don't get gaslit. This is the thing. This is all gaslighting attempts. By the way, watching the Michael Cohen interview on Maddow last night, it was like an affirmation for all the things that we've known right along are the way he feels, because he's been telling us who he is since the 80s. And we should probably believe him. It's really it's terrifying. And the amount of delusion about who he really is just makes me crazy. He's done more for our troops than any president in history. No, not really.
Unless what you're saying by more is getting more of them killed by people that don't get condemned by the president.
We had one of the worst hurricanes in Florida history hit the Panhandle 2 years ago and basically destroy Eglin Air Force Base and a couple of other facilities up there. Trump removed money from the funds to restore those bases to operating condition, not to make them better, but to fix them, to build the wall in Texas. How is that helpful to our troops? How is that a thing?
Because they like the false sense of security.
He gave them a pay raise that was planned 5 years ago.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, anyone who believes anything he says at this point, it's kind of on you.
He signed the Veterans Protection Care Act. No, he didn't.
In 2015.
There's literally video of Obama signing it.
Yeah.
Oh, but he reauthorized it. Yeah. And he didn't reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act. So, it's crazy.
Man, if facts mattered, that would be pretty nice.
There's just no way it's not believable that he said that people who served in the military and were wounded are suckers and losers. It's absolutely believable because he has said it literally out loud on video about heroes, about John McCain, who I disagree with on a great many things, but you cannot deny that here's the part for me that makes John McCain heroic. It's not that he dropped a lot of bombs on brown people in Vietnam. It's that when he was a prisoner of war, he would be tortured and beaten, then dragged into a room and offered early release if he renounced the war. And he said repeatedly, more than once, probably 3 or 4 times this happened to him in the 5 years he was in, I'm not leaving until the rest of the men with me leave as well. That's what makes John McCain a war hero.
It's legit. Like you can't. No one can take that away from being a real story. Like that's
Going
just a
after-
thing that's real.
Going after the Khan family, a Gold Star family that lost their fucking son in one of our wars. How do you not see? How do you not see what it really is? It's his complete disdain for people that aren't profit motivated. If it doesn't serve him directly, he does not give a shit about it. And so the only reason he ever even says he cares about veterans is because it serves to get him what he wants. Truly disturbing. Truly disturbing.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the show?
Yeah. The show is shitty.
It's not a good show.
It just
Okay.
makes me...
Speaking of good shows, Raised by Wolves,
Yeah. Well, that's a weird one.
right?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It turns out that paying for HBO does not get me HBO Max programming, which
Hulu's doing the same thing now. They're like, hey, thanks for having Hulu. You can't watch this because this is Hulu Live. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I know where my
which is
internet box is.
$58 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that shit. See you later.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, I borrowed it from several thousand of my friends and watched the first 3 episodes. It's only 3 that are up now, right?
Mm-hmm.
First
A
3
lot
episodes.
of shows are doing that now, and it's really irritating and also very smart. The Boys did the same thing, and I think they're going to drop one every week after that.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of the new series of The Boys last night. Liked it. It's okay. It's
I mean, The Boys
I
is
don't
The
know.
Boys. It's not trying to be anything. It's not.
right.
It's
It's
like
it's a gory superhero thing.
right, exactly. It's like if Dave Myers was allowed to make a superhero movie.
Probably. Yeah, lots of blood.
It's more or less how I look at that. But then was like tamped down slightly because his would be probably a lot more intense and more Trumps would be murdered. And I would watch it more. Also,
Yep.
we should talk more about Dave Myers getting his own show. Just like
That'd be
absolute control. Like he's just he's the producer. Okay, you have $20 million. Make whatever you want. I'm like, okay, have fun with that. What's up, money? Yeah. So, what was your favorite thing about it?
I like Father.
Okay.
I like that. I like that character is like he's what in a how do, okay, let me say I didn't think about how I was going to answer this. In a world of really stereotypical character development in television shows, the African American male robot is the one with the empathy and a conscience and more of a mothering instinct, maybe certainly a less violent instinct than the mother. I thought that was an interesting interplay. I like that a lot. Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of it.
Fairly intentional, I would imagine. Even just the the way that what's his pickle, the showrunner guy whose name I'm gonna get old and just start forgetting shit all over the place.
Right.
Anyway, what the hell's his name?
Ridley Scott.
Yeah. All I could think of was Riddick. That's not. Nope.
That's not the same thing.
But how Ridley Scott has always kind of shown AI or the androids, right? Every once in a while, they're kind of sympathetic or they're sort of failure points or whatever. It seemed to be fairly myopic representations of AI. I mean, which of course led to Terminator, and we know how much I love that argument. We're talking about superheroes and the fact that you should have a show all about superheroes, Dave Myers. But yeah, it's at least getting to the point where it's a lot more dynamic, which is kind of fun. Yeah.
Well, and I will never ever not say that I, Robot, the fucking Will Smith film, is the worst possible adaptation of Asimov's ideas, and I want somebody to remake that. In the I, Robot was not a story. I, Robot was a collection of what ifs about a future where robots are an integral part of humanity. And so the best treatment of Asimov's material is Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams.
Yep.
Which has a really great moral arc about him wanting to become human and doing so. Right. And I, Robot was just an action movie with Will Smith. And I'm so angry that it was the best total, we could do. Yeah.
Yeah.
We spent that much money on. Yeah. It was awful.
And really, like, it's a logical and psychological discussion about how the 3 laws of robotics would apply in logical situations. Right. And that's how it should always be, because it's the moral dilemma. It's the moral dilemma they're having right now, writing car software that will have to basically play out trolley problems in real time. And they're having to decide that based on, based on insurance tables. Right. So we need data from somewhere. And like the dark secret is that insurance tables have all of this stuff quantified already in a very, very gross way. So that's
do you mean death panels?
Yeah, well, yeah, right. We in Canada we just call it triage, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like I Am Legend? Oh, that's weird. I totally didn't hate that movie at all. But yeah, Dave Myers just said what we just said. So I could go on and explain it, but yeah,
pretty much.
And what's interesting, I started reading the Foundation series again because it's supposed to be coming out as a show, which is just terrifyingly fucking fantastic, because it looks like they're actually going to do it right, which is updating a lot of it, because a lot of it is based on like he still like writes on paper, has a tablet but writes on paper all throughout the Foundation series, which I've always found really entertaining because they couldn't understand what an iPad would be like, right? But he was writing all of this stuff in the 40s, right? And Galactic Empire, yada yada yada, which is really fun. So that's going to be good. What else is good?
We hope.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for the new Dune movie, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
The last one, I think people that like it maybe like it for nostalgia, because it really wasn't comprehensible. It didn't help you understand the Dune universe at all.
Yeah.
In the same way that iRobot didn't help you understand the 3 rules of robotics, or the philosophical dilemmas of them. Right. The Dune books are really about economy. We're about economics and control of economies.
Well, and good drugs.
Mostly about control of resources. Economics.
And good drugs.
Okay.
Just saying.
But the Dune trailer looks like it's pretty good.
And like thinking back on all of the descriptions that they had about when he takes a macro dose of spice, it's just ayahuasca. That's all it is.
Right.
And by all I mean like,
Oh, nice, Corey. My wife did a paper on the car AI thing, how the bias from the data affected cars disproportionately hitting people of color, because people of color were not included in the pictures of humans. So the idea didn't consider the AI didn't consider people of color humans and ran them over. See, it's all about human programming. It's about what humans
even like and this is the thing, right? To think that is a data oriented proof for white privilege.
Right. Yes,
right.
It is.
It like, this is not a controversy. This is not a debate. In our own representations of our own culture as digitized images of humans, right? We are disproportionately measured. And so, yeah, I mean, it just, and they'll fix that. That's a thing that's fixable, because we can, just fix a line of code. Unfortunately, large groups of humans are not so simple.
Yep.
Yeah, Virginia, who controls the spice controls the world. Spice equals money. I would actually say that spice equals energy. Money can come and go. Money on a world without spice would be nothing.
Right.
It's more akin to oil, especially in the way that he depicts it in the book, right? Like, no, if the transport guild doesn't have spice, all transport grinds to a halt and the entire civilization dies. which was when those books were being written. That was oil, like the fighting for the control of it.
Late 50s, early 60s.
I believe that's accurate.
Yeah,
I want to know now.
It's been forever. I haven't read Dune.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how you go back and revisit sci-fi series like that? I mean, I tend to revisit those more than other kinds of books.
Yeah.
I'm reading the Red Mars trilogy again. I'm burning through Green Mars like a house on fire. It's amazing.
I actually want to read Blue and Green Mars again because I've read Red Mars twice. But
yeah, a lot of like they're just really good. Like the idea of the greening is really good.
65 through the 80s.
Oh, really? I thought it was earlier than that. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was earlier than that too. I was wrong. Okay. Books wise though, Exhalation, which is a collection of short stories. Everyone needs to put it on the list. If you want to have your head completely and totally wrapped around a singularity and then snap back into form and read the best modern parables that have been written in the English language, read that fucking book twice.
It's called what? Exhalation?
Exhalation. Yeah.
Who's it by? And it's a collection.
I think it's Ted. No, it's one person. I think it's Ted Chiang. Hold on here.
Okay. I also want to get my hands on the 3-Body Problem, the Chinese sci-fi book that
I can send it to you. I started reading it a while ago and started reading it again, and it's getting better. And interestingly enough, it dives into the same themes as the Exhalation short stories, which get into like really, really intense physics and how like when you get to the bottom of modern physics, basically, if you aren't existentially completely and totally ruined, you've read it wrong.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Ted Chiang.
Okay.
And the short story, like there's one about free will that I immediately sent to our friend. What's his pickle? Oh my God, I'm literally having a fucking old person moment. Chet, Jesus Christ.
Right.
Who's doing the Free Will Project?
That guy is a deep thinker, Chet.
Yeah, he's read like when you talk to him, yeah, and then cites 9 books about fucking toast, whatever the fuck it is. He's read 8 books about it, which it's incredible.
He's our friend Chet Gaines is part of our Church of Reason Minecraft server, and that circle of people that we know is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So the actual short story, though, if you skip to it, the book's titled as Exhalation. There's actually a short story called Exhalation 2. Might be one of the most beautiful things I've ever read in my entire life. And I don't want to say anything about it at all because it would potentially ruin bits of it. But I can't wait until more of you read it.
Cool.
What's this going on with Lawrence Tribe shit? This is really serious. The author spent decades studying how Nazis cults take hold. Everyone needs to read this and beware. I can't actually click through to that link.
But you can copy it maybe. And
that's possible. Nope, I can't. Because every time I click on it, he just left. Bye. Okay. So I guess I'm by myself. Is this thing still on? If you guys can hear me, let me know. Just in case we've just been like turfed for some reason and I can't tell. There he is.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have put that in the browser window of the actual StreamYard tab.
If you were using Chrome, it still would have been bad.
Yeah, it would have fucked up anyway. All right.
Is that you trying to send it to me? Because that's not going to work.
No, I just decided to open the. Wait, what? That didn't work. Okay, never mind. We'll look at it later. I guess is what we'll do.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy Brinkman. Kathy Brinkman. I haven't done that in a while, so I did it now. Yep.
Oh, okay. It was a different link. She actually pasted in. Okay. Jessicurity.org. QAnon is a Nazi cult. Rebranded.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, is anyone shocked by that?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we should be. Like if I still had the capacity to be shocked by the insanity we're living through, I would be shocked. Right. But no, just still like, hey, we're the proto-Nazi country now, so that's fun. Everyone should probably get their voting plan right, and find other people who aren't,
and help your friends get their voting plan
dissolved into the stupid.
I was thinking I might spend election day giving people rides that need rides to the poll.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a crazy change. Elizabeth is talking about the weather in Colorado. Went from 87 degrees to 30 degrees the next day.
Holy
They
crap.
had a 50-degree plunge. Oof.
That's crazy.
Insane. That's a shock to the poorly insulated, right? Because it's funny because Elizabeth is like a skinny, tiny little person. So poorly insulated.
Yep, I get it.
I have that. I don't have that problem, and I live in
Me
Florida
neither.
because I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ. A secret cabal has taken over the world. They kidnap children, slaughter, and eat them to gain power from their blood. They control high positions in government, banks, international finance, the news media, and the church. They want to disarm the police. They promote homosexuality and pedophilia. They plan to mongrelize the white race so it will lose its essential power. Does this conspiracy theory sound familiar? Yep, it is. Same narrative has been repackaged by QAnon. I mean, that we've all seen that, right? But that is exactly. And I mean,
the only component
I
missing.
hate that we have to even throw caveats. Yes, they're fucking Nazis. Like that. That's how this worked. We're seeing it literally again right now.
The only component missing is a specific race attached to this belief system.
But it's not. It's not though. It's implied, right?
All right, but they're not saying it out loud, right?
Okay.
That it's the Jews or it's the Muslims or it's the blacks. They're not saying that part, which, in a way, is actually more sinister. It's more insidious.
Yeah. So anyway, that's fun.
Nobody eats children. Gross.
I mean, anymore.
Donner, party of 12.
Oh, gross.
Hey, I stole that from Robin Williams. Don't blame me.
Adrenochrome tastes like children or chicken. Sorry, I don't know what adrenochrome is.
That's the substance, the imaginary substance that the QAnon people are saying.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I'm absolutely serious.
Of course you are. That was a dumb question. Okay. And this is the thing. Like, I know we've been doing this for a while. I just want to recognize in myself how desperately I want to talk about something else. And so instead, just fucking, like, if you don't have a voting plan yet and you know anyone that doesn't have a voting plan yet, that's all we can do. Like, this complaining and like getting deeper and deeper into how fucked up shit is, none of it matters. We just have to completely and totally destroy them in the ballot box. That's it. Like, every time this comes up and you get outraged, find someone who doesn't have a plan to vote yet and get them a fucking plan. That's it. Right. Every time. Don't waste any time on it. We know how fucking terrible they are. And it's only going to get worse. Every single time this comes up, we have to get the fuck out the vote. Every time. Because, I mean, I just even sensing it myself, like, I want to talk about rockets or fucking Lego. I don't give a shit. I don't want to talk about this anymore. But at the same time, but
the last time we took a couple of years to talk about those things, the world fucking
right. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I don't want to talk about this, and honestly, talking about this more doesn't help anyone. It's not helping us. It's not. Right. It's not deepening our understanding and how terrible this is. We fucking know in our bones how terrible this is. Like, the only thing that we should be talking about when this stuff comes up, because obviously we have to cover it because we're committed to doing that, is like, fucking go get a plan. God damn it! If you like, and again, I know everyone in this feed right now has a plan. If somebody who's watching this elsewhere, go to votesaveamerica.com/states and fucking find a way to vote. Just do it. Because honestly, like, the way this country is going, it's really bad. It's fucking bad.
Yep.
Anyway,
So Rhonda Nelson, hey Rhonda, I hope you're doing okay today. So is anyone reading Cohen's book? I am not yet reading it, but I'm interested to hear the number of people that are saying that it and Mary Trump's book confirm each other. Like, it's like they both wrote the same story from different perspectives and during different time frames. But they check out with what we know and suspect about Donald J.
Yeah,
Trump.
it's all stuff we covered in real time. Like, none of this is revelations to me at all.
Right. So, Virginia, I learned a weird fact. Sandhill cranes are called the filet mignon of the sky. I have lived here all of my life in Sandhill crane country. I have never heard that before. I don't know anybody who's ever eaten a sandhill crane. So
weird pivot.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Manatees were said to be really tasty back when people used to hunt and eat them. If you think about, when they were numerous and you were poor in Florida, that's a lot of protein. Yeah, that's a lot of meat for your family. So I can see why they were hunted and eaten. But yeah,
fair enough.
Okay. Wait, I heard they're amazing tasting. Are we talking about children or sandhill cranes? I've kind of lost the plot.
Yeah, Dave, I saw your last comment. I'm not going to read it. That's I thank you though. Anyway, my Aunt Gail agrees. We should probably vote and stuff. Now, that said, like I'm not saying we should turn away from the insanity. So like I'm in this moment saying like that's exactly what I want to do, and I'm not letting myself do it. It just that I feel like that energy and outrage has to get channeled into something that we actually do.
Right.
And right now, other than going out to protest, the only thing that we can do is vote. Or make calls for a local candidate, right?
Yep. And I can hook you
that.
up with the people that are doing that in our community here in Pasco County. We have some outstanding candidates for county commission and state legislature. And I know all the people that are organizing those phone banks, and it's a good thing to do. Postcard efforts, all sorts of good stuff going on right now. Yeah. But as far as a voting plan, this is the problem. What if it's rainy on that day? I'm going to go vote. What if it's raining on that day? What if polling locations are too crowded for you to get to safely, right? So start making a plan now and an alternate plan. Like, my polling station is the Port Richey City Hall right on Ridge Road, and it's never busy. I have a feeling it will be busy this year, but I am a mail-in voter. I get my ballot in the mail. What I'm probably going to do is take my ballot to the polling place and turn it in, right? I think there are 4 locations I can turn in my completed ballot by hand. I'm confident that it would be counted and tabulated in my county because my county has a pretty good supervisor of elections, even though he hates me. He doesn't really hate me, but we have an issue. Anyway, I'm confident that my SOE does the job right, but that doesn't mean everybody else is. So I'm probably going to hand deliver my ballot this year just because I want to be absolutely sure. So have a plan. Yes.
All right, well, it's 11. I think I'm going to make a third part of coffee. Part
of coffee?
Yep, so that hopefully I remember more words, which I have not done very well today. Yep.
Yeah. I got a busy work day, actually. I got a lot of work stuff to do for the counseling thing today.
Yep.
So,
if anyone decides to make a pun channel on Chirp, I will hate you / love you forever. Mostly hate.
I think I have enough coins to do that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So, lucky you.
I might not. I tip almost everything that happens. Like I try and do like at least 2 coins per, just because I want to make sure that as many people as possible are sort of in the coins positive for posting or whatever. There's been a couple posts where I've been like, nah, you kind of suck. It's been like, I think 2 out of probably 1,000 now. I may not tip puns. Just going to say, I might just show up as a comment and tell you how horrible you are as a person.
Corey Olko is asking, can minors make a Chirp channel? My kid might want to make one.
Yes. And that will force our hand if there's ever a situation that we need to manage. So, Corey, right. I would suggest like it's wide open. Like it's basically as open as getting a URL or any other kind of thing that you could do. We're working on moderator controls for channels. There's also been some ideas tossed around about basically defaulting kids to whitelisted channels,
nice.
Which is something that we're talking about, but we're very, very new. So, if you want to do that, let's do that and keep me posted because I want to make sure we monitor it and make sure that it's a positive experience. Right now, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be, but we don't really have any kids-only spaces, so it's something that I would want to keep an eye on if we could.
So, yeah, Mary Ellen asked, what counseling thing? Well, I'll lay that out. I am a state-certified batterer intervention program facilitator, and I work at a First Step Counseling in Newport Richey, where I also facilitate anger management, parenting, and healthy relationships classes and groups. So that's what I do. And I do it all in 1 day a week now. I'm down to 1 day a week. I cram it all into Wednesdays, and then I'm done. So...
That's cool. All right, we'll get out of here. Go get that done, and then go take a picture and throw it up in hashtag photography.
I'm gonna do it.
All right, get after it.
All right,
thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. Does anyone have any good news? I legitimately go read the Exhalation book. Just go read it. I'd start with that Exhalation story, and then tell me all about it. Ash, we should have you on pretty soon.
Yep.
And thank you
Word.
for doing that. I mean, hell, like hashtag journalism doesn't exist yet. Just saying. And when you do sign up, try to use just your name. Everyone's like coming in with their like, you know, Jan Glopper 564. I'm like, you know, you could just pick Jane. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, Dave said the good news is the Dune trailer.
Pretty much,
I
that's
completely
accurate.
agree.
Yep.
Sasquatch is not real.
What